All right. It is 10:02, so we will go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this inaugural Symposium on Advancing Equity in Higher Education on Long Island. My name is Claire Payne. I'm the Web Services and Data Librarian at Stony Brook University Libraries and a co-chair of today's event. Joining me today is my fellow co-chair, Stacy Harath, who's the Executive Assistant to the Interim Dean of the University Libraries. I have just a few introductory notes before our event begins. First, this symposium is sponsored by Stony Brook University Libraries and funded in part by a Stony Brook University Presidential Mini Grant for Departmental Diversity. We are very grateful for the support of this grant that has allowed us to host this event. We are also dedicated to providing a symposium experience that is free from all forms of harassment and inclusive of all people. To that end, all attendees, speakers, sponsors, and volunteers at our symposium are required to agree with our code of conduct, available on our website and in a link that I will post in the chat shortly. We expect cooperation from all participants to help ensure a safe environment for everyone. I also have a couple technical notes. Closed captioning will be available during the event. Please toggle it on or off using the CC button in the Zoom panel. The entire event is also being recorded. If you have any technical difficulties throughout the day, please chat to panelists in this webinar view or send an email to hugh.wong.2@stonybrook.edu, and I will also put that email address in the chat. Finally, I would like to begin today's event with a land acknowledgement. Stony Brook University, where this event is based, stands on the ancestral lands of the Setauket peoples. On Long Island, we encourage you to support Indigenous-led grassroots change movements and campaigns undertaken by our neighbors in the Shinnecock and Unkechaug nations. I will add a resource in the chat where you can learn more about Long Island's Indigenous communities. As we are all joining this event remotely, please take some time today to reflect on your own area's colonial histories and to learn about and honor the Indigenous peoples who have traditionally inhabited and continue to inhabit the territories in which you live and work. So thank you for taking that moment. I will now hand the virtual microphone to Stacy Harath to introduce our opening remarks.
Thank you, Claire. Good morning. We are pleased to welcome each one of you here today. Recently joining the Stony Brook University community is our president, Dr. Maurie McInnis. President McInnis recently served as the Executive Vice President and Provost for the University of Texas at Austin, where she acted as Chief Academic Officer, led strategic planning for the university's academic mission, and made significant advancements in equity, diversity, and inclusion initiatives. As Chief Executive for Stony Brook, McInnis also oversees Stony Brook Medicine and plays a key role in economic development on Long Island and in Stony Brook's role as co-manager of Brookhaven National Laboratory. At the university, President McInnis oversees our research and educational missions and works to fulfill these missions while celebrating diversity and positioning the university in the global community. Although President McInnis was unable to virtually attend today's symposium, she has graciously pre-recorded a welcoming statement that we would like to share with you now.
Being here this morning to discuss one of the most pressing issues impacting us today: how to build diverse, equitable, and inclusive learning environments for our next generation of leaders and thinkers. At Stony Brook University, we believe our tradition of academic excellence and our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and social mobility are not separate missions, but rather mutually inclusive and integrally related components of our institutional purpose. The need for concrete effort towards diverse, equitable, and inclusive learning environments has consequences that reach far beyond higher education, because the innovation, thought, and values coming out of institutions like ours will help shape our world for years to come. Never has this been more clear than in 2020 and 2021, where universities across the nation have been called upon to answer some of society's most pressing questions, in everything from responding to the immense healthcare challenges posed by the pandemic to leading our nation through an intense reckoning with racism, social discrimination, and the truths of our collective history. Responding to these challenges will require not just the work of one discipline, but of all disciplines. We must work to grow an active, thoughtful, and responsive dialogue between the arts, STEM, social sciences, and the humanities. It will require not just the work of one university, but all universities. It will require the dedicated talent, not just of our scholars, but also of our staff and administration, who especially this past year have shown their adaptability, skill, and dedication in responding to the pandemic. Stony Brook is dedicated to promoting socioeconomic mobility as a part of its mission and works hard to connect our students with chances for research, internships, work, and networking on Long Island. In this way, I believe we are not only creating a culture of opportunity for our students, but also a tradition of reciprocity with our community neighbors. Since its inception in 2007, our Diversity Professional Leadership Network, DPLN, has seen 460 students pass through its career preparedness program, with 80 participating just this year, making it our largest cohort to date in this very challenging time. The DPLN program pairs students with a supervisor and mentor that can help them not only set career goals, but follow through on them. This kind of support helps to close the gap between potential and access, career goals, and a concrete realization of those goals. Empowering our students allows them to not only work toward their own success, but also toward their impact on society and the success of our region. That is how we can build a legacy of responsibility, empathy, and care between our state's higher education institutions and our neighbors. As Stony Brook works to create opportunities for students to engage in research across campus, we are especially proud of our work in addressing health disparities within communities of color on Long Island. Our students have been key in our community outreach efforts and interventions. This kind of supportive relationship has a concrete effect. In fact, earlier this month, SUNY Chancellor Jim Malatras announced the 22 recipients of the inaugural SUNY Graduate Research Empowering and Accelerating Talent, GREAT Award, a group that was notable for its diversity and for their individual research work focusing on critical areas, including Alzheimer's disease, safe drinking water, pancreatic cancer, schizophrenia, and others. I am proud to say that Stony Brook University graduate students accounted for 8 of these award recipients, and that the work this group of students is doing has implications that extend far beyond Stony Brook. Interdisciplinary efforts towards diversity, equity, and inclusion can and will have a transformational impact on our community and our world. That is why I am so excited to welcome all of our participants today, who hail from across the state and from multiple disciplines and backgrounds, all of whom are making this conversation richer, more diverse, and more dynamic. A special thanks to our keynote speakers, Kirsten Green and Anthony Dandridge of SUNY New Paltz. Finally, I cannot think of a better host organization for this symposium than university libraries, whose important and sacred role in preserving knowledge for our school and our region lays the foundation for growth toward a better future. It is because of them that so many can join together to ask questions, think critically, learn, and push for change. Just last fall, we celebrated the library's acquisition of the History Makers Digital Archive, the nation's largest African-American video oral history collection. I am proud of the important work SBU Libraries is doing toward fair and equitable access to knowledge, and I am delighted for SBU Libraries to be hosting this event. With that, I would like to introduce Judy Clarke, Stony Brook's Vice President for Equity and Inclusion and Chief Diversity Officer.
We thank President McInnis for the great insight into some of SBU's equity, inclusion, and diversity efforts. Also joining the Stony Brook University family in 2020 is Dr. Judith Clark, who serves as the Vice President for Equity, Inclusion, and Chief Diversity Officer. Dr. Clark works in collaboration with campus partners to promote a culture at Stony Brook that values diversity and embraces equity and inclusion as essential to fulfilling the university's educational and public service mission. Dr. Clark was previously Diversity Director of Biocomputational Evolution and Action Consortium, aka Beacon, Science and Technology Center at Michigan State University. She was responsible for the development, management, and implementation of the seamless integration of diversity inclusion strategies. Throughout the last year, Dr. Clark has led the SBU community in important dialogues on structural and systemic racism, while also developing our existing diversity plan into the Diversity Action Plan for High Performance. This plan uses the collective impact model, which is a high involvement leadership strategy to build and support Stony Brook's commitment to a culture change. We are fortunate for her leadership on our campus. Please welcome Dr. Judith Clark.
Oh, you're
Good
muted.
morning, sorry. Happy Friday, happy Friday. I am honored to welcome you to the Advancing Equity in Higher Education on Long Island. Woo! A lot of great work has gone into this opportunity, and I'd love to thank Interim Dean Shafiq Fazal and our co-chairs Claire Payne and Stacy Horath, and the Stony Brook Library's Equity, Inclusion, and Diversity Committee. They've worked so hard on planning this meaningful symposium. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the problems facing our community, state, nation, and the world. At this moment in time, people from all over the world are contemplating their ability to make a social justice difference. And it's a mixture of excitement and uncertainty. Many are wondering what leadership role they can have in building a more equitable, inclusive, peaceful world. So higher education is a place that provides 4 to 5 years of elite leadership training with the nurturing, guidance, and expectation. This safety net does not happen in many other places. It's also the intersection where higher education can be a good neighbor and partner in addressing the challenges of our communities, both locally, statewide, nationally, and globally. So here's what we see. Well, you may or may not know this. Clearly, as you look at your family, friends, and communities that are not here, there's something very different about you. We know it and will guide and affirm your knowledge, skills, and network to ensure that you have the success and the roadmap to make the impact that is pinging your heart right now. But knowing it comes with a responsibility. It's okay to focus on what's not working, unfair, and what's wrong with the world. It's equally, if not more important, to focus on what is working in the chaos and who is ensuring it is happening. Powerful leadership begins in the room, at the table, in control of the agenda. So now you're getting strategic and thinking, how do I get there? And why are you, and that's why you're here, to start that process. So valuing historical lessons coupled with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge reflects the educational mission and core values of each of us that is on this call, or at this symposium. We are embracing the importance of words, telling our own story, and ensuring that other stories are told. These are the foundations of a collective understanding of who we are and who we want to be. And so I say all that with incredible enthusiasm that I hope that you take advantage of the knowledge of our speakers and use the time with questions and answers to get the information, the skills, the knowledge, and affirmation you need to be a part of this collective change. Thank you so much for being here, and I wish you a fantastic symposium experience.